Oh, hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole, Detective here, investigating your favorite movies, and now I move on to my second last list of List Week 2020. Finally, out of 12 lists, I have arrived at the second last, and that is Top 10 Worst Movies of 2020. Actually, I kind of want to expand it to top 15 because there are just so many terrible movies this year. So it's gonna be a top 15, I guess. But you can also put the, number 15 to number 11 to the honorable mentions. It's all the same, really. Before I start off the list, I want to mention one movie that I will not put onto this list for various reasons. Now, there is a difference between a movie that is written and directed in such a garbage way, it's laughable and hilarious. And those movies can be very disrespectful as well. And then there are movies that are straight up illegal. And I kind of don't want to put it onto this list because I haven't watched any trailers or clips of it because I don't want to, because I simply don't support it and it is illegal. B, I don't want to attract any more attention to movies like this because by giving this movie attention, it's just feeding what it wants. But essentially, the movie title starts with a C. It is one word. It is on Netflix, and I don't want to talk about it. I haven't watched any videos. I watched reviews of it, of course, but I haven't watched any trailers or clips of it because it just makes my stomach churn, and I just don't want to remember that this movie exists. So let's move over to the actual dishonorable mentions. We have The Last Thing He Wanted, with a very stacked cast, but a boring ass plot with corny dialogues and a plot that doesn't even make sense. Bloodshot, with Vin Diesel. You know exactly what kind of movie you're gonna expect. Of course, at the end of the movie, he's gonna be like, "Oh, it's all about the family values." The Last Day of American Crime is a very stupid, cliche movie about crime and crime. Exactly what it is. John Henry is a movie featuring Terry Crews, and it's just one of those, like, wow, one guy fights the world kind of movies, like John Wick, but way worse and way less interesting. Uh, all right, top 15, we got Brahms, The Boy 2. Um, I mean, it's just a very, very boring horror movie. What can I say? And characters, they just make stupid decisions that are made for the sake of story, which is very frustrating. And at number 14 and 13, both of these movies are also very boring horror movies that are poorly executed and are released in January for a particular reason, because usually people release terrible movies in January so that they can be forgotten really quickly once the year ends. You know the drill. January is the month of bad movies, and then November, December have a lot of good movies because they're all in it for the Oscars race. Same goes for number 14, The Turning, and number 13, The Grudge. Both of these movies have pretty good concepts, especially for The Turning. There are some nuances and subtleties that are nice, but it's just so poorly executed. It's such a drag. And at number 13, it is The Grudge, which is just a straight up mess. At number 12, we have Desperados, a really stupid rom-com where the main character accidentally sends an email to a person that she doesn't actually love, and in order to fix that, of course, she had to travel all across the world and have this crazy rom-com thing. It's so unnecessary, it's so uninteresting, people are running out of ideas. This is what happens after I shit talk 3 horror movies. Just ghosts attacking me. At number 11, a movie that I think should be in the top 10 but somehow avoided that for some magical reasons. It is Jujutsu. featuring Nick Cage. Actually, I really think it's a top 10 worst, honestly. But there are just so many terrible movies this year that are equally bad. It's really difficult for me to rank them, but Jujutsu is terrible. It is a movie with people who know martial arts, Jujutsu, which means, they can fly around and make electricity and zap people and have super strength and super speed because they know martial arts, I guess. And then there are soldiers, which are the antagonists. And then there's this one alien dude who doesn't even look like an alien, who's not intimidating at all. And Nick Cage is also in the movie, but he doesn't show up much. And whenever he shows up, he's hysterical, as usual. And I guess the only reason why I didn't put this on like my top 10 is because, we have Nick Cage in the movie. So no matter if his character is bad or not, no matter if his performance is bad or not, if he's on screen, he's a legend and it's enjoyable. So anyways, number 10, I'm giving it to The Jesus Rolls, which is a spin-off of the very amazing comedy movie The Big Lebowski by the Coen brothers. And The Jesus Rolls is a movie centered on the character that is Jesus, played by John Turturro. And this is one of those movies where it's either amazing or it's absolute trash. Unfortunately, it turned out absolute trash. The plot is nowhere near as interesting or as engaging as The Big Lebowski. In fact, this one is absolutely boring. It's written in a very sloppy way. It doesn't feel like it's progressing anywhere. There are so many awkward and uncomfortable moments in this movie. They really try so hard to pack all these laughs, all these haha moments in this movie, and most of them just fall completely flat. Yeah. Number 9, I'm giving it to Dolittle. I have reviewed this movie. I've talked about how disappointing this movie is. But essentially, we have Robert Downey Jr.'s and a bunch of animals trying to locate some sort of magical island to look for some sort of anecdote because the queen was poisoned or something. Yeah, it's a friggin' mess is what this movie is. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is a great character, but what the hell? Why this movie? Why? Like him just playing this character. It's just, we're going on to a perilous journey. And then all these animals, they're so forgettable. And they're so, I mean, yeah, they're cartoony. They're supposed to be cartoony. But they're so goofy. You can't take any of them seriously. And whenever there is supposed to be an emotional moment in a movie, you just can't take any of it seriously because it's just so goofy. It's just so cringy. And the climax of the story is literally an enema of a dragon. Yeah, it's garbage. It's actually garbage. And of course the villain is this mustache twirling, ooh, evil plans. Number 8, I'm giving it to Fantasy Island, where a bunch of people, after winning a contest, got to live in a fantasy island. Oh, so rich! And it turns out this fantasy island is sort of like a karma, like a lesson for them. Oh wow! Turns out I'm an asshole. Turns out I'm greedy and I'm a bad person. And this fantasy island sort of becomes a horror island now. In concept, it is okay. It could make for a pretty educational movie in concept, but in execution, this is as sloppy as it gets. I think this is the same director or writer as Truth or Dare, the horror movie. God damn. The cast is also pretty stacked, and they all went to waste with such a sloppy plot and characters that are just so, oh yeah, I'm so greedy. Oh, I'm bad. Oh, At number 7, damn, just one terrible movie after another. Host. Host is a movie that I've also reviewed. It is a movie about a ghost in Zoom. Of course, given that we're in a pandemic right now, people are gonna make, oh, so topical movies, ooh, so topical, so current. And we have a Zoom horror movie where the entire movie basically takes place in Zoom on on like a tablet or something, and they try to like communicate with the dead in Zoom. Are you serious? And they somehow angered the realm of death and summoned a demon, and the demon just haunted everyone. You know, a lot of the scares in this movie are straight up laughable. Uh, the dialogues in this thing is so unrealistic. It's so unrealistic. I cringe so hard watching this movie. And the sound editing of this thing, the sound of this thing is just terrible. And I get it. It's Zoom. Of course, there's going to be a lot of noises. Then why do you want to make a movie out of Zoom in the first place? It's frustrating. It really is. Number 6. Oh my goodness. It's just Songbird. Songbird. The pandemic movie by Michael Bay, but actually written and directed by Adam Mason, whoever that guy is. And Songbird is supposed to be a pandemic movie. They literally wrote the script, planned it, made a screenplay out of it, filmed it, and edited it in like a few months. And it really shows, because this thing is sloppy as hell. It's like every genre crammed together. There's romance, there's crime, there's thriller, there's horror, there's this, there's that. And it takes place in the future. Oh, in 2024, there is a COVID-23, and like half the entire world has died. And like everyone's just quarantined, and it's so scary. Oh my god. And for me personally, I think it is important for people to understand the risks and the threats they are facing when it comes to a pandemic. A lot of anti-maskers are still the stupidest kind of people in the world right now. But this movie, just what the hell is this movie? It's a mess. It's poorly acted, and it's just oh so topical, oh so current. At number 5, I'm giving it to The Kissing Booth 2. Of course, given how successful and popular The Kissing Booth 1 is, which is a movie that I haven't even heard of until last week. The Kissing Booth 2. Just goddamn, these stupid high school movies. Oh, high school. Wow, teenage love. So strange and funny. Ooh. Like, dude, it's 2020 and you're putting out high school movies, rom-coms that look like this, with female characters saying things like, oh my god, he's so hot, I want to grab him by his butt cheeks and slap his face. It's annoying. It's so narrow-minded. It's a very cartoony and extremely cliche view of high school. Even 13 Reasons Why seem a little bit more updated than this movie, even though 13 Reasons Why is still an absolute garbage TV show, of course. But even 13 Reasons Why had a more updated look and view on high school life than the frickin' Kissing Booth 2. They had to make a sequel out of it, the second one. And oh my goodness, if the roles were swapped, if grown ass men were describing these things to hot women, like, it would be straight up sexist. This movie is extremely uncomfortable and absolutely stupid. Now we have the top 4 trash movies of the year. I just want to tie all 4 of them together as the number 1 spot, because they're all equally garbage. They're all equally bad, in my opinion. All 4 of these movies deserve the number 1 spot, but I just rank them. Number 4, Mulan. Of course, Disney had to make a live action out of everything, except for The Lion King, of course, because it's still a bunch of CGI. It's just animation, but more realistic. That's the Lion King remake. But okay, they remade Mulan, and it's actually a tasteless, bland piece of garbage. Not only is it very culturally inaccurate, but also it is disrespect to the original, which has a lot of great songs, great performance. The original has so many cinematic moments that this movie has to cut because why not? And then there are these other plot lines that they added into this movie, like this phoenix bird that just showed up suddenly and then died suddenly out of nowhere. It completely added nothing. In the original, Mulan doesn't have superpowers. She's just a girl who's really determined. And seeing her, go through all these struggles on her own and succeed is really rewarding. It really shows that women are strong and can be strong as well. But no, in this remake, women can only be strong if they have superpowers. That's literally what this movie is. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And on top of that, I know I don't want to get political, but the female actress, the lead actress of this movie, literally supports police brutality in Hong Kong, my home. There are people I know, that I know in my school who have been attacked by cops, and this actress is supporting that. And then on top of that, this movie is also filmed near concentration camps for innocent Muslims in the northwest of China, in Xinjiang. So, yeah, the production value is high, but everything else is basically garbage. At number 3, oh, why are there so many terrible movies this year? Number 3, I'm giving it to 365 Dni, or 365 Days. And it is a Polish film, and it is this 50 Shades of Grey Twilight ripoff. And this time, instead of being a shy, cute girl and some crazy sadist boss of a company, this movie is even more ridiculous with a very smart Polish woman. And she went on to a vacation to Italy, and he met a sadist Italian mafia boss. Are you lost, baby girl? Are you lost, baby girl? Yeah, this is a ridiculous movie. The cinematography is so poor, it looks like a student film. The romance is so crappy, and it's just so... I mean, it's fine to include elements of BDSM in movies and TV shows, but when it's done in a way that's so sugar-coated and so glamorized and so glossy to a point it's unrealistic, I really can't take this seriously at all. I mean, we already know how unsuccessful is 50 Shades of Grey. Why do you have to make this? What the hell is this? Number 2, I'm giving it to The Murder of Nicole Brown Simpson. The same dude who made The Haunting of Sharon Tate. Yes, milking someone's death, shitting on other people's graves, real people, and make a stupid psychological horror movie out of it with all those, ooh, I dreamed about getting killed, ooh, all these daydreams, all these spooky visions, all these flashbacks, all these newsreels. Wow, it's so real. Like, it's straight up disrespectful to make such a comedically horrible and horrendous movie out of someone's death, out of someone's actual death. It's really, really disrespectful, and of course it's really poorly acted, really hilariously poorly acted. A lot of the lines are delivered in a way you'd think that everyone's phoning it in, maybe because they are, but alright, number 1 worst film of the year. In my number 1 spot, I am giving it to Artemis Fowl. Artemis Fowl. This movie. God damn! This movie. So, of course, Disney. Is it even Disney? They had to make a movie adapted from a very good novel series. That is Artemis Fowl, which I haven't read, but I heard it's really good, so there's that. And they had to butcher it to pieces. They had to slaughter it, butcher it, and turn it into a comical disaster. Where do I even begin? I mean, they made so many changes to the story. Again, I haven't read the book, but from what I've heard, they've made a lot of changes from the novel, and they're all extremely stupid, and they all made the story so watered down and so shallow. The main character, Artemis Fowl Jr., is supposed to be this criminal mastermind. Is supposed to have layers, you know? But in this movie, he's just a smart kid. Period. And he didn't even do much in this movie. The title character didn't even do much. His performance is actually hilarious. It's a lot of the scenes are so cringy. But not only him, pretty much every single actor and actress in this movie also didn't take this movie seriously, so all the performances are actually trash. They're all garbage, and none of the characters have layers. They're all just there. They all exist. There's this one girl who is supposed to help Artemis Fowl Jr., and she just disappeared for 90% of the rest of the movie. She shows up in the first act, gone. And then she shows up in the last act. Oh yeah, you exist. Right, totally forgot. The whole movie takes place in one house. This movie is supposed to be like a fantasy epic with fairies and monsters and this and that and this and that and goblins and whatever. But no, this entire movie takes place in one house in Ireland. That's it. There's this MacGuffin thing, this item that they need to get, which looks like an acorn, and we don't even know what it does. It just exists, and then the movie ends. Yeah, and then of course, even though the entire movie takes place in a house, there are actually like 3 scenes where it takes place in an underground secret fairy world, and for a world like this, you know, you'd think the movie would explore it a little more, but no, we just have 3 scenes of this. We don't even know what's going on. It's just a really fancy underground place with terrible CGI. That's it. The characters are so goofy. Judi Dench is in this thing. And her... Oh yeah, you know, this movie is Irish. This movie takes place in Ireland. So there are lines like, "Don't be such a 4-leaf clover." And then when Judi Dench showed up in the house, near the house, she literally said, "Top of the morning." It's so lame. It's so lame. There's even, and this entire movie is actually like narrated by some other dude, and he's narrating while being interrogated by the police. Why? I don't know. And the first half an hour of the movie is entirely exposition. It just drags on in the first act, and it's completely cringe in the rest of the movie. So yeah, it's terrible. It's garbage. It's trash. It's poo poo. It's pee pee. That's all. So, what are your least favorite movies of the year? Comments below, let me know. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want more. I just gained like 103 subscribers in 3 days or something. That is insane. But yeah, I'll do best movies list tomorrow.